This quick rant about the reticular activating system /RAS is sponsored by Squarespace. Reticular activating system, RAS, it's just a science thing. I learned about it from Mel Robbins first, who I highly recommend you follow. But she posted an Instagram thing, and it was like, have you heard about the RAS? I'm like, no, I haven't. Not to be confused with the ROUS, rodent of unusual size. We're getting sidetracked. RAS, basic premise is our brains are pattern recognizers. So the reticular activating system, its entire job is to make you notice the things that you've noticed before. It's just something that your brain's naturally doing. It's not really like a concept that you have to study or anything that you have to necessarily do. It's just something that will be happening. If you're focused on the negative stuff that's happening in your life, if you're focused on the problems that you're having, if you're focused on how bad you feel, how little things irritate you, you're gonna end up seeing in your world more irritating things, more negative stuff. On the flip side, if you focus on the silver linings of problems, if you focus on how good you feel when XYZ thing happens, just some of that positive stuff that is happening all around us that we're thankful for, you'll just naturally notice that stuff more. So that's super great in theory, but what does it actually look like in practice, right? Here's the stuff that you actually wanna focus on in your life. Has a lot to do with feelings. So let's say, for instance, in a sales call, think about a time where you were on a sales call, you were about to sell something, and you sold it. How it felt to sell it. How it felt before, like when you got that little inkling that you are going to close this, that you're gonna sell it. What was that feeling like? If you envision what that felt like every day, especially before you get on a sales call, what you're gonna do is you're gonna start to notice when that feeling is about to happen in a sales call. And that's gonna do two things. One, it's gonna get you excited because you're gonna think, oh, I think I'm about to close this. This is how that felt before. And two, it's gonna increase your confidence as you think you're about to close it, which is going to in turn help you close better. Number two, in relationships, in interpersonal relationships, what should you be looking for? What patterns should you be telling your brain to recognize? First things first, when it comes to relationships, is you should actually be listening. You should actually be zoned into what is the person saying, not just with their words, but with their body language, with their eyes, and with their actions. Similar to the sales call, feelings before it went right. Similar to the sales call, how did it feel the last time you had a conversation, you did something with your loved one, the person that you're building this relationship with? How did it feel before it went right? How did it feel after it went right? If you think about and focus on the cues that you noticed in your partner before and after it went right, you'll notice that stuff more often. And again, it's gonna get you hyped because you feel like this is going right. And that in turn is going to help you kind of naturally just relax into it going right and causing it yourself to go right. It's a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy, but like, who cares? If it's in your favor, who cares if it's a self-fulfilling prophecy? All right, last one, and potentially the most important one. Real quick, video sponsored by Squarespace. It's your place to go online and you just build a website completely online. No tools needed other than a browser. Put your best foot forward for your clients, your customers. You can have a shop where you sell stuff to customers. You can set up a consulting business right on a website and sell services there. Use their integration for scheduling, marketing, emails, whatever you need to do, you can do it right through a Squarespace site. If you want to try it out, you go to squarespace.com/CodyWarner, and then when you're ready to buy, use the code CodyWarner to get 10% off your first purchase, all right? Obstacles. When you come across an obstacle, it's challenging, right? It's an obstacle, it's a hurdle, it's something you might have to climb over or go through or go under or go around, or worst case scenario, turn around and go a different direction, right? Obstacles, they can be super rough. Think about, again, the last time you overcame an obstacle, even if it was a small one. For me, like when I know I need to set an appointment for a call or a meeting or whatever, it's just really hard for me to go and actually put it on the calendar. It's hard to just be like, Cody, go and put the meeting or whatever on the calendar. But I do it, I've done it. I've overcome that obstacle, even though that's hard for my brain. Think about how it felt to overcome that obstacle. What did you think about as you were overcoming it? Why? Was it because you knew you had to, or was it because you were excited by the thing that could come as a result of that obstacle, that hurdle being jumped. You get to do something cool. You just get to feel good about yourself because you're like, I'm the type of person who's organized and I keep a calendar. Focus on that feeling of overcoming that obstacle. What needed to happen in order for you to overcome it? Secondly, if you can step back, and depending on how big the obstacle is, if you look at this whole thing, you look at the broad picture of it, try to take a bird's eye view of it, is there anything interesting about it? For me, one of the cases of this is ADHD, right? I have ADHD. Some people consider it a massive disability. For a lot of people, it is like incredibly debilitating. So it's an obstacle. But for me, when I was able to step back from it and kind of embrace it, that it was a part of me, kind of embrace it, that was something that I was going to deal with, I started to notice the interesting things about it. Hyperfocus, extreme energy at times, ways to creatively connect different ideas and concepts that some people thought were cool, some people thought were interesting, helped other people make money. So when I noticed the interesting stuff about it, that is when the obstacle became the way for me with ADHD. I think about those things. I think about how it felt to discover those things. And I try to put myself in that same feeling state. And that, in turn, helps me to find the interesting things about future obstacles, to find the silver linings about other obstacles that I can use to my advantage as tools. Focus on the feelings of the wins. Focus on the interesting things. Focus on how you felt right before something went right. Try to do that every single day, and RAS will start working for you. Your brain will be noticing things that you want it to notice. You will notice what you think about. Decide to think about the stuff that serves you, the stuff that's positive, the stuff that you want more of. RAS, use it daily. It's a game changer.